Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages at TBC Online. President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan says the objective of the Cbeebies Festival is to continue to unite people and stimulate the implementation of various development projects. Dr. Samia made the remarks today after officiating and laying foundation stones in various development projects in the Unguja South District, directing the residents of the areas to be vigilant and take charge of the projects launched. It's a report by Somu Mavura, read to you by Teddy Mparanyanga.
It is a day full of excitement. About 10 development projects are being launched. Foundation stones laid in the Unguja South District in Unguja South region. All this is being done by the first female president of the United Republic of Tanzania, who was born here at Kizimkazi 63 years ago.
Could you tell us a little bit about the gift, please? Just a history.
Sorry?
In the education sector, the day witnesses the inauguration of Muyuni Primary School classes, a social hall, and of classes at the construction of a hall for social events, and the construction of a nursery school for Tasani Makunduchi, all expected to improve the education sector. Furthermore, President Dr. Samia also hands over cars to be used by Makunduchi and Kizimkazi police stations. Culminating the day, President Dr. Samia inaugurates the Kwanza Resort Hotel, and here she recognizes the contribution of the private sector.
There is no development without the private sector. As the government, we can manage to fund money for the sake of solving different challenges such as water supply, electricity and social services, but we can give out room for private sector to invest in hotels as the part of strengthening the development. I am very grateful to the private sectors and we appreciate their contribution in our country.
The chairman of the Sunrise Resort and Cruiser Company outlines the reasons that attracted him to invest in Zanzibar.
Zanzibar is a great destination. I felt in love when I come here, and from the first moment I saw Zanzibar, and at the same moment I decided to invest in Zanzibar and to open the resort. To bring this vision to life, we put a significant investment to make these luxury rooms and luxury suites. All rooms have either jacuzzi or swim up. This is new for the island, that all the rooms have a swimming pool and have a jacuzzi and a private pool. For the first time in the region, we enjoy our swim up rooms in all the ground floor. The resort offer a variety of dining options, international buffet. We have our cave a la carte restaurant.
The visit of President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan continues in the Unguja South District until reaching the climax of the Kizimkazi Festival on August 31st.
Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Professor Adolf Mkenda, says the government will continue to cooperate with African countries in ensuring that it removes obstacles in the collection of taxes in order to stimulate sustainable economic development in Africa. He made the assurance in Dar es Salaam when he was officially opening the 8th Africa Tax Forum with a theme of contemporary tax issues. Rehema Cbeebies has more.
It is the 8th meeting that brings together stakeholders from the tax sector with the aim of coming up with the joint solutions to improve the collection of income tax in Africa. While opening the meeting, Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Professor Adolf Mkenda, urged the meeting to come up with the relevant solutions to improve tax collection in Africa.
We face several challenges that weigh on our reform agenda. As a result, we keep losing quite substantial revenues from taxable income stream, and thus the average tax to GDP ratio in the sub-Saharan Africa has by and large remained below 18%. It is my humble plea that this conference, alongside the main themes that have already been decided, will spend some time also to brainstorm on the following. 1. Innovative solutions to mounting risks of transfer pricing, profit shifting, and illicit financial flow. 2. Measures to address problems of asymmetric information which hinders most countries in the region to effectively tax e-businesses, carbon credit trade, natural resources value chain.
The session plays a vital role in advancing our development agenda, from financing public services and infrastructure to promoting social equity and inclusive growth.
All aware of how taxation plays a crucial role in group development and the provision of goods and services in our African countries. However, the continent faces several contemporary taxation issues that pose significant challenges to its financial or fiscal systems.
On the other hand, the executive secretary for ATAF said that Africa annually loses more than $88 billion through illicit financial outflows, which include money from tax evasion and other criminal activities that undermine Africa's development and governance agenda.
We are characterized by low revenue collections and with an average tax to GDP ratio on the continent of only 14.5%, which is considerably lower than the average of developed countries of 34.1%. And this is mainly due to the shrinking of our tax base, owing to a number of factors, including the low levels of tax compliance on the continent, aggressive tax planning, especially in the multinational enterprise and high net worth individual sector, and a relatively large informal sector and our inability to tax the sector very well.
We have come up with policy guidelines and a number of other documents. The first one I want to mention is the ATRA governance instrument. This is an important instrument as it spells out the policies, regulations, and procedures that guide the strategic direction of the ATRA in line with the broad mandate of ATAF.
More than 100 studies will be discussed in the meeting to come up with the best way to improve revenue collection in various areas, including the informal sector. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Rahima Cbeebies, TBC News.
Now let's head over to Rukwa region, whereby about 26 development projects worth more than 14.4 billion shillings are expected to be inaugurated as the Uhuru Torch begins its race in that region. Is a report by Jose Achejo, read to you by Lulua Mohammed.
The Uhuru Torch has already launched and laid the foundation stone for the Liazumbi village water project in Nkansi district, which has cost the government more than 330 million shillings and will serve more than 2,000 residents.
In the period of 4 days where the Uhuru Torch will be here in the region of Rukwa, it will be chased for 778 kilometers, 800 meters, and it will visit 36 development projects. The Uhuru Torch will visit various clubs against malaria, corruption, HIV and AIDS, malnutrition, and drug abuse. These projects will have a value of 18 billion, 4 million, 36 million, 31 million, and 666,009 cents. We have confirmed and satisfied that the documents are well done. Congratulations. I have access to water at my home. There is a water tap. To be honest, the Honorable President has done a great job. We thank our President for ensuring that the citizens of Liazumbi have access to water and we are not facing any challenges so far.
Prior, the Uhuru Torch was in the Katavi region, where the Torch and the Office of the Vice President Environment were satisfied with the efforts of the Katavi region to conserve the environment by planting 7 million trees and protecting 102 water sources, as this year's theme outlines.
port manager for Lake Victoria Port, Ferdinand Nyathi, says the cargo consignment transported between Tanzania and Uganda through the ports of Lake Victoria has increased from 1,500 tons in 2021-2022 to 180,000 tons in 2022-2023. He was speaking during the 18th East African Trade Fair in Mwanza, insisting the increase is due to the improved and more efficient services offered at the ports.
The number of cargo ships have increased from one year to the next, so this is great. And the list of new customers has also increased. For instance, last year we saved at least 150,000 tons of Uganda, but in this fiscal year we have saved 180,000 tons, which show a significant increase in the load.
Mwaka jana tuliweza kuhudumia takribani tani 1.5 za Uganda.
He adds that the improvements of infrastructure at the ports of Kemondo, Bukoba and North Mwanza implemented by the government at a cost of 60 billion shillings are expected to further stimulate the increase in cargo transported through the ports of Lake Victoria, as well as investment in the lake.
We encourage investors to build vessels that are compatible with the current infrastructure, which will be part of boosting the economy in the region and also benefit the neighboring countries. We also expect an increase in the load that goes to Uganda and Kenya, as well as the passengers.
Lakini pia idadi ya abiria tunatarajia itaongezeka kwa sababu kutakuwa na meli nyingi zinazoweza kusafirisha abiria.
The Port Management Authority in the country has emerged as the overall winner, including the best service provider among public institutions participating in the 18th East African Trade Fairs held in the Mwanza region. In other news, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Samuel Sholukindo urges civil society organizations in the country to work closely with the African Union Council for Economic, Social and Cultural Affairs, ECOSOC, at the national level to voice needs of Tanzanians so as to enable the African Union to implement the development agenda, including eliminating poverty in Africa by 2063. The Permanent Secretary made the call in Dar es Salaam when he was officially opening the Council's National Chamber. Rehema Cbeebies was there and has prepared the following report.
It is a workshop that brings together representatives from the Council, civil society organizations and the government with the aim of formalizing and operationalizing the African Union Council for Economic, Social and Cultural Affairs, ECOSOC, national chapter in AU member states. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Samuel Sholukindo, says the Tanzanian government highly appreciates the contribution of civil society organizations in the preparation of strategies and policies, and he urged the civil society to take part in pursuit of a better Africa.
Secondly, the importance of this workshop lies in the opportunity it provides for civil society organizations to engage direct with the African Governance Architecture Secretariat and subsequently with other important organs of the African Union. This approach ensures that efforts do not remain fragmented, but rather they interweave to create a tapestry of shared goals and collective achievement.
On the other hand, the representative of Tanzania to the African Union, Ambassador Innocent Shio, says the aim of establishing the Council is to ensure that there is a unity between AU, the government and the people.
Since its establishment, ECOSOC has recorded tremendous achievements, especially with respect to promotion of Africa's integration and development. Indeed, through the work of ECOSOC, we are witnessing an increase in the involvement of civil society in the form of social, private sector, and professional groups, as well as the African diaspora in the work of the African Union.
This national chapter framework, which has been adopted by the policy organ, the African Union wants us to establish it in the 55 member states of the AU. but we are starting it on a pilot basis by identifying 5 countries, and Tanzania being one of it. And the reason why Tanzania is one of it is because of the significant role that you have been playing as civil society organization, but more importantly, because of the political space that has been provided to you as civil society organization to play that significant role. So we want to work with you from the Secretariat and the leadership of the organ to see how concertedly we can promote African Union programs and policies in African Union member states.
The Economic, Social and Cultural Council was established in 2004 by the African Union with the aim of ensuring that it provides opportunities for civil society organizations in Africa to participate in the activities of the African Union by providing advisory services in policy instruments as well as educating citizens on Africa's development plans. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Rehema Cbeebies, TBC News.
Thank you, Rehema Cbeebies, for that report. More than 35 patients have undergone reconstructive plastic surgery within 1 week at Bugando Regional Referral Hospital in Mwanza region to restore shapes or various of their organs, as a report by James Larombo, read to you by Lulua Mohammed.
It is the Bugando Regional Referral Hospital in the Mwanza region where 35 patients have undergone reconstructive surgery aimed at restoring the shapes of their changing body parts. Dr. Francis Tegete is a specialist surgeon at the Bugando Regional Referral Hospital.
What is plastic surgery? Many say it is kind of surgery that deals with the reconstruction one's appearance and enhance beauty. Others think it is kind of surgery that deals with the skin only and the effect of being burnt. But all of this is a part of plastic surgery.
Furthermore, Dr. Tegete explains the types of surgery that are being performed.
We have 2 branches. The first branch deals with retaining the form and the function of the body, such as effect caused by birth, accident, tumor, being infected by virus, and the second branch is a cosmetic part which deals with the appearance.
He adds that the plastic surgery project has been conducted in collaboration with the specialized doctors from the USA.
If we were to take this patient outside the country, perhaps their treatment would have been very expensive. This is part of the Ministry of Health and the government's effort investing in our profession, and we are working hard to accomplish that.
Some patients who got a chance to undergo surgery used the opportunity to express their appreciations.
It is a good thing because they helped us who are facing a big challenge with our appearance. We were looking strange to others, but after they treated us, we now look normal. The service was so good. I would even like to stay here until they remove the bandage.
The Bugando Regional Referral Hospital is the only hospital in the country with a reconstructive surgery department, despite the low number of experts.
The Deputy Minister for Information, Communications and Information Technology, Engineer Kundo Matthew, says African countries should come up with joint strategies to digitize postal services to support Africa's economic transformation. He made the call in Arusha while opening the meeting of the Pan-African Postal Union, insisting that emphasis should be on ensuring supportive infrastructure. As a report by Sechelela Kongola, read to you by Teddy Mparanyanga.
Members of the Pan-African Postal Union, PAPU, are meeting in Arusha to discuss how to digitalize postal communications to hasten economic development in the continent.
We do have a number of delegates who have been invited, who are partners of the Post. We are expecting to get to 500 delegates coming.
The Deputy Minister of Information, Communications and Information Technology, Engineer Kundo Matthew, says the goals of African countries are to use the digital postal communication system to foster economic development.
Hatutaki kuachana. Since we are all in this union, we will not leave anyone behind on the issue of digitalization, and this is why this kind of conference are crucial to us as Africans.
Engineer Matthew adds that the 6th-term government has invested in improving the communication and infrastructure in the country.
Hatuhitaji kuwa na zile SLP
it won't be necessary to go through the old process of sending and receiving your letter or parcel, since all this will reach you wherever you are using the improved infrastructure we have and the internet that is used to identify your location.
The chairman of the Council of the African Postal Union, Richard Ranarison, says that the completion of the construction of the headquarters building of the union in Arusha is a sign of how they are well prepared to support the economies of these African countries.
Apart from having this annual general meeting, there will be also inauguration of Pan-African Postal Union Towers, which shows how well the postal sector has been prepared to perform its duties.
Now, before we wind up our local news tonight, let us take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And now let's have a look at international news compiled by Ramadhani Mpenda and read to you by Teddy Mparanyanga.
A police constable has been arrested in Homa Bay County in Kenya for cutting his boss with a machete after they allegedly disagreed over a suspect who was arrested and detained. The police officer attached to a Pala police post in Indira sub-county is accused of assaulting his boss, identified as Koech Kimutai. Kimutai, who is the head Pala police post, was assaulted by his junior after they allegedly disagreed over a suspect who had been arrested. It is reported that Kimutai realized the suspect who had been arrested and detained in their cell was missing. He went to the constable's house to inquire the whereabouts of the suspect, but failed to get a convincing answer. When he insisted on knowing more, the police constable allegedly took a sharp machete and pounced on him, intended to cut his head, but he shielded himself using his right hand, where he sustained a deep cut on his palm and bled profusely. The constable was arrested and taken to Indira police station, and investigations have been launched into the matter. Sudan's army chief, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, has arrived in the Egyptian coastal town of El Alamein on Tuesday to meet with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. It was the first time General Burhan had left Sudan since the start of the conflict with the Parliamentary Rapid Support Forces on April 15th. General Burhan is accompanied by the head of Sudanese intelligence, Ahmed Ibrahim Mufadal, and the interim foreign minister, Ali al-Sadek. Egypt has offered to mediate between Sudan's warring factions in a series of international efforts to prevent a prolonged civil war and the deepening of a humanitarian crisis. Libya's internationally recognized Prime Minister, Abdul Hamid Baba, has come under inspection for his reported role in attempting to normalize relations with Israel. Abdul Hamid, the head of the Tripoli-based Government of National Unity, sacked Foreign Minister Najla al-Mangosh after her meeting with her Israeli counterpart, Eli Cohen, in Rome, Italy last week, was leaked to the media. She has since fled the country to Cairo for her safety. On a Sunday evening, a statement from the Israeli Foreign Ministry said al-Mangosh and Cohen had discussed ways to have great relations between their nations. The meeting sparked protests in Tripoli and other cities, with demonstrators blocking roads with burning tires and waving Palestinian flags. And a Pakistani court has suspended former Prime Minister Imran Khan's recent conviction on corrupt charges, though he still faces a swing of other court cases. A spokesperson for Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party said the Islamabad High Court had overturned a lower court decision imprisoning him for 3 years, a judgment which has barred him from contesting upcoming elections.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And And in sports news, Simba Media and Communication Manager Ahmed Ali says they will play 2 international friendly matches gearing up for CAF Champions League first leg against Power Dynamos from Zambia on September 15th. He made the announcement in Dar es Salaam, adding that the match will boost quality of the players before international competitions kick off.
We will play different friendly matches because we have more than 3 weeks to prepare, so we must prepare enough against Power Dynamo. It's a huge time, so it depends on what date we will play against them. Therefore, we must have 2 friendly matches to see our players and find out good and the best technique in the camp before our international game.
Simba plays Power Dynamos in the first leg of CAF Champions League on 15th of September in Lusaka, Zambia, before the return leg match to be played at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium on September 29th. In other sports news, both JKT Queens head coach Esther Chabruma and CBE coach Birnu Hayes say that they are ready for the Sekafa Women's Championship final match to be played at FDC Jinja Stadium in Uganda tomorrow. Speaking ahead of the final encounter, both coaches believe that their teams are capable of lifting the trophy after displaying high-quality football in the other matches of the tournament.
We know that the match will be tough because our opponent is a strong team. We saw them in 3 matches. They play very well and are a good team. However, we want to beat them and take the trophy back home.
JKT is a very strong and a very determined club. I have much respect for JKT Queens.
Queens play in the Sekafa Women's Championship final after defeating Buja Queens by 3-1, while their rivals CBE beat Vihiga Queens by 2-1 in semi-finals. And that's it for sports news. Now, before we wind up, let us take a look at today's weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Once again, this is 24 hours weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. And wind flow pattern. Wind expected to flow at the speed of 40 km per hour over the entire coast together with Lake Victoria Basin and Lake Tanganyika. And TMA issue an advisory of expecting strong wind and high wave tides over the entire coast together with Lake Victoria Basin and Lake Tanganyika. Your advisory is to take note on that. For tonight, we expect future particle condition, light rain shower over Firia, over Tanga, Unguja and Pemba ISAs, while the rest part of our country expect future particle condition. The lowest minimum temperature is expected to be 7 degrees Celsius over Mbeya region. For tomorrow, we expect future particle condition, rain shower over Firia and sun periods over Tanga, Unguja and Pemba ISAs, together with Dar es Salaam, Pwani and Morogoro regions, while Kilimanjaro together with Arusha expect to feature particle condition, light rain shower over Firia and sun periods. The rest part of our country expect future particle condition and long sun periods. Let's have a look for the 4 days weather forecast for some part of our country starting from the day after tomorrow. Dear viewer, we thank you for watching us and have a good night.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Faida Ngaga. Good night.
Yatakuwa ya mawio. mwangani, hata magharibi ya machweo. Ya mijini hata vijijini.
Zege hailali wanasema ni hapa. Ninachotaka ni kazi. Ni kazi, ni kazi, na sitaki kusikia kingine.
Kamera yetu itamulika, kalamu kuandika, usiye sauti nawe utapata kusema hapa.
Tunamshukuru mama Rais wetu Samia. Mimi namshukuru mara 20 kwa sababu inaonekana kama ni ndoto.
Ni miradi inaendelea. Wanaosema kwamba miradi haiendelei ni kitu cha uongo.
Ni katika daraja lako tunatekeleza. Sasa ni kila Jumatano saa 12:30 jioni na marudio ni Alhamisi saa 11:30 jioni hapa TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.
Namba ya simu 0757 899 264. Zaina Katongo.